Upon its release in October 2016, Mafia III faced a barrage of criticism due to numerous technical issues that severely impacted the gaming experience. Players across various platforms reported multiple problems, ranging from performance hiccups to game-breaking bugs. On the PC platform, players found themselves restricted to 30 FPS, a limitation that felt archaic and unacceptable for modern gaming standards of the time. This cap led to widespread frustration within the gaming community, and it prompted the developers to release a patch to unlock higher frame rates shortly after launch. In addition to the frame rate debacle, many players encountered frequent crashes and black screen errors, particularly on PC, and blue screens for those who are on PlayStation. These issues often occurred during startup or cutscenes, rendering the game unplayable for many. The game's AI wasn't good either. Enemies exhibited erratic behavior, with some NPCs displaying limited awareness of the player's actions, leading to a lack of challenge and immersion. Additionally, the open world design, while ambitious, felt repetitive to many players. The mission structure often boiled down to similar tasks, leading to a sense of monotony as the game progressed. These compounded issues resulted in mixed reviews from both critics and players. While some praised the game's narrative and setting, such as myself, the technical shortcomings overshadowed all these strengths, leading to a tarnished reputation at launch. These issues caused me to not play the game till the definitive edition came out. Funnily enough, despite all this, the game sold quite well, selling over 9 million copies, which is kind of impressive considering the launch and state of the game. However, Take-Two did not see the game's performance as a good thing, since it was received very poorly, and they abandoned the game soon after releasing 3 expansions that were already planned. They even cancelled a Mafia II inspired expansion that would have let you play as Vito Scaletta once again. Despite its rocky launch, Mafia III had several commendable qualities that I do believe deserve some recognition, such as its narrative depth and setting. Set in 1968, the game introduces players to Lincoln Clay, who is a Vietnam War veteran returning to New Bordeaux, a fictional representation of New Orleans. The narrative delves into heavy themes such as racism, betrayal, and revenge, and I felt it offered a mature and compelling storyline which, in my eyes, was both engaging and thought-provoking. The game's soundtrack stood out as a significant highlight, featuring iconic tracks from the 60s, which included Sam Cooke's Wonderful World, which I enjoyed a lot and got me into listening to his music. The score by Jesse Harlan is also worth mentioning, as it perfectly complements the mood of the game. For example, there's some good tracks such as the main theme, and another track called A Kind of Peace. The diverse cast of characters, including allies like Cassandra, Burke, and Vito from Mafia II, adds depth to the narrative. Each character had a distinct personality and backstory, contributing to a good enough and engaging storyline that kept players invested. Even the main villain was well written, making them all memorable. Unfortunately, we did not get to see a lot of them, and they were pretty underutilized in the game, and they should have been given more focus than all the racketeering missions that we were doing in the game that ended up ruining a lot. Lincoln, the main character, was decent enough to keep you interested from beginning to end. The setting is very bold and unique, and in my opinion, you don't really get a setting like Mafia 3 in many other games. It's pretty much a first of its kind. especially because it touches on heavy topics such as racism in the 1960s American South. Some say the game didn't portray the racism well enough, others felt like it did too much. Meanwhile, there was already some pushback due to the main protagonist being a black mixed race man. I don't think it was as strong as it would have been if the game released today. We didn't have the political anti-woke grifters in gaming as much back then, so majority of people's problems with the game was just the bugs, performance issues, and the repetitive tedium. If someone tried to tell you that most people hated the game because of the black protagonist, then they are lying to you because we all saw the trailers having Lincoln as the main character and they still bought the game regardless, hence the 9 million it sold. Personally for me, my main concern was story and characters, and Mafia 3 did well in this front. And if you were to ask me, Mafia 3's story was more enjoyable to me than Mafia 1 Definitive Edition. New Bordeaux captures the essence of the late 1960s American South. The city's districts are distinct, each reflecting unique cultural and social economic aspects. Playing as Lincoln Clay being a black man, if you roam around some areas, especially white neighborhoods, you would have the police called on you pretty quick and they would arrive almost immediately. While in the black areas, they have delayed responses when a crime is committed, or sometimes they may not even show up, which was pretty realistic for the 60s South. I also liked the stylized menus and the high production cutscenes which helped alleviate the game's presentation. When I finally played the game, which was the definitive edition, at first I thought that people had overreacted about the game outside of its technical problems, such as saying the story was boring, which it definitely wasn't, that the gameplay was bad, which I didn't think it was bad, but it was definitely clunky, especially the driving, but the gameplay loop was grindy. I initially had these feelings due to the game having such a strong opening act, in my opinion, and later on as the game progressed, the grind to each boss of each region became increasingly tedious, taking you out of the experience. The graphics, which I initially thought looked great, started to fall apart. The foliage looked like a jumbled mess, shrubs and bushes were made of solid rock, you couldn't drive through them. Making off-road driving unplayable. The lighting engine at times wouldn't work, making the game look terrible and lifeless. Cops had superhuman aim, immediately taking you out. As soon as a chase started, they'd shoot your tires and they'd burst, which made me dread police chases. NPCs would sometimes jump in front of Lincoln's vehicle, as if they were trying to commit insurance fraud. And worst of all, the crashes were terrible. Reach a certain area, crash. Load a game, crash. It was a nightmare. Mind you, all these problems still exist in the definitive edition, which is supposed to be the fixed version. Yet it still has abysmal bugs and technical issues. A shameless and blatant cash grab from Take-Two. They are such a rich company, making billions off of GTA 5 microtransactions alone. Yet they couldn't afford 1 to 2 million to fix their game. I have always maintained that Mafia 3 would have been an 8.5 out of 10 game if they had just fixed their game and not abandoned it. Now it has a tarnished name in the public eye. Recently, a couple of remasters have come out, such as Dead Rising 1 Remastered and Ninja Gaiden 2 Remastered. What these games did was port the game from their old janky engines to new modern ones like RE Engine for Dead Rising and Unreal Engine 5 for Ninja Gaiden. They updated textures, lighting, redid character models, added plenty of quality of life improvements, and improved UI elements. I believe Mafia 3 could benefit from a proper remaster effort, like porting the game to Unreal Engine 5, because its original engine is just dated and not good in today's standards. They can improve the lighting, textures, and character models. It'd also be nice to have improved AI so police don't have superhuman aim and NPCs don't jump in front of your vehicle. Removing the grind and bloat is also very doable, since there are already mods that can do that for you in the original Mafia 3, which I used in my second playthrough and was really helpful compared to when I was slogging through in my first playthrough. The usage of Unreal Engine 5's Nanite would help greatly with eliminating the terrible pop-in and improve the visuals, hence creating a much more detailed world. Using Lumen will also help improve the lighting with its dynamic lighting, making Mafia 3 look even more realistic. With the upcoming Mafia 3 The Old Country, which was using Unreal Engine 5, and with us already seeing its trailer, we can clearly see that Hangar 13 know how to produce beautiful visuals with the engine, because that game looks so stunning. So Hangar 13 in my eyes can do a good job in remastering of Mafia 3 in Unreal Engine 5. Or they could just hire a third-party studio similar to what Bethesda and Microsoft are doing with the Oblivion remaster. Do I think that Take-Two is going to do a proper remaster of Mafia 3? It's highly unlikely because Take-Two is a very greedy company, especially after the piss-poor job they did with the Mafia 3 Definitive Edition release. But a guy can dream and hope they do Mafia 3 some justice. So what do you think? Do you think Mafia 3 should get a second chance? I'd appreciate your feedback in the comments. Leaving a like would also be appreciated. I hope to reach my goal of 500 subscribers, so please subscribe. See you in the next video. So long.